before the start of the video today and the podcast episode today, it's time for Gentleman's Weekly Watch Pick, and this time we have the Rolex DATEJUST 126300 Oyster band. This watch has a blue dial with Roman numbers and is priced at around 8.5K on Bob's watches. It comes with a full set of papers and box. So go over to Bob's watches now and check it out at least. You may change your mind, who knows? It's a mighty looking DATEJUST with a icy blue dial and Roman numbers. Come on, it cannot get cooler than that. So hop over onto the description of this video, click the link, and go over to Bob's watches and check it out. Let's roll the clip. Hello there. How are you doing? Welcome back to another episode of the Gentleman Pursuits podcast. My name is Ryan. Hoping you're having a great day, staying hydrated, staying healthy. I've been slacking off on the fitness side of my life lately, just trying to, been staying in my room a lot, working, watching movies. Don't do it like me. Go outside, stretch out a little bit, right? Go take a walk, exercise those legs, and stay healthy. But I'm here today with one motive only, and that is to discuss what everyone has been discussing lately, the Rolex release. Now, I will try to keep my comment as moderate as possible. While I do have some strong comments towards it, over the course of this video, I will try my best to analyze it objectively. So first, I want to talk about the Submariner. The key. I mean, there are a lot different drops. I mean, there are a lot of different releases, right? The Oyster Perpetual, I think it's the Sky Dweller or the DATEJUST. I forgot the chocolate, right? And then we got the Submariner, and I think the Submariner is the highlight here. And I will get to that in a bit. So back in April, right, Rolex announced that it was pulling the new release from the calendar indefinitely. And when people say indefinitely, everyone's gonna be like, it's gonna freak out. It's like, oh my God, you're not gonna release it anymore, right? Indefinitely. I don't know. Like it's in the future. It sounds scary. It's like, I don't know. But then around a week before the actual announcement, there are a lot of speculations. Actually, way before the Rolex announcement, there are a lot of people already predicting that there's gonna be a new Submariner. Unwound by Crown and Caliber, for one, as I remember, wrote an article about the Rolex releases back in like January. And they're right, there's a new Submariner, right? The Submariner, it's a legacy in Rolex roster, right? It's a really simple looking watch, a really reliable tool watch, and it's popular, easy to wear, right? Literally not a lot has changed throughout history. I think there's a major update in 1989, got a caliber update, a sapphire crystal, and a gloss dial upgraded to 904L. Then slight changes here and there in 2001, 2003. Then in 2008 we see the 116619, and 2010 we got the 116610, and now another change to it with another gear upgrade. To some people, it may not, actually to me, it doesn't really matter, because I'm not a huge Submariner fan, so the changes to it is not really a big thing to me. There's a minor size change. Power reserve is up to 70 hours now, so from a 3135 to a 3230, right? But to others that were kind of held back by the power reserve aspect, it was a huge upgrade. I've known people that didn't buy a Submariner before, is because the 48-hour power reserve is kind of not enough for them, and now it's a 70-hour power reserve. They're like, this is the best thing ever, right? So they wanna buy it. So in general, it's a huge upgrade, right? To some people, it matters a lot. However, here's where my opinion kicks in. A power reserve is cool, caliber update is cool, but do we have to wait 10 years for Rolex to announce that there will be a new Submariner just to find out that it's only about a minor size change, a minor case modification, and a power reserve? Like, it just didn't sit well with me. Just to, we waited, or at least Rolex Submariner fans waited 10 years just to see a 90%. It's 90% the same watch with a slightly better wear and a higher power reserve. It just doesn't sit well with me. And a lot of people would say, you don't have to fix what is not broken. While this is true, right? This is true. You don't really have to change the appearance, completely. But the fact that a lot of people went ape shit on this new drop, I can't see the reasoning behind it. And this segues into my next point, being that Rolex is kind of tearing the watch community apart with these so-called new releases. I don't think they did it intentionally. But these subtle things that people, how people feel towards each new releases, kind of like adds up into the tearing apart the watch community. Let me explain and try to convince you on my point of view. So one of the things that infuriates me the most is not only these so-called Rolex fanboys are loyal, die-hard Rolex fan, but they over-glorify it. This is like how people, like, let's say in the fashion industry, over-glorify Gucci and Supreme new drops because they're big names, right? Even like Vatmon. Literally, if right now, let's say still the fashion example, let's say right now Supreme says that they're going to drop a new box logo t-shirt, which is their hottest commodity. Their fan, let's say it's going to be half a year later, their fan have been waiting, and Supreme decided to drop a new box logo t-shirt a half year later. And their fan, like, after half a year, just to find out the so-called box logo t-shirts, just, there's like not even new patterns or new like collab with artists. It's just a different colorway. What do you think they're gonna react to that? How do you think they're gonna react to that? Most certainly they're not gonna hate it, and they will buy in bulk just to resell it, right? Just to trying to make a fortune. Or even like, Supreme fanboys, they're like, oh my god, this is like the coolest shit ever. I need to have that. So, like, this in turn makes Supreme looking like a brand that is untouchable by most, right? Because the price is gonna be jacked up, and then it's limited edition, so you can't really buy it retail price anymore, or you can only buy it at an astronomical price that people jacked up to, right? Moreover, like, this does not only make the brand look like the king of the hill, but because of the limited releases, their fans' reaction made every other brand that is busting their ass in the HQs, trying to create something that's actually fashionable, that's actually innovating, like, that just rendered them obsolete. Now back to the watch community, Rolex, I feel like they're doing the same thing, and they kind of, like, through these releases, kind of discredited all these other brands like Zenith with the Defy, Montblanc with the Geosphere, or even Hermes, Arxo de la Lune. Like, I love these watches, but you can clearly see the innovation and creativity within these pieces, but they go unnoticed because these big brands with these new so-called new releases are overshadowing everything. And I'm not saying that Rolex is not hardworking. I'm not saying that Rolex in no way is creative. They are creative. They are hardworking, because truth be told, a gear change, a caliber update has to be like some, like, technologically has to be really challenging, right? But Rolex releasing this new Submariner, to be completely honest, it is not something super impressive. Or should I say, it's expectedly uninspiring, but hey, waitlist is under effect already, and to me, this is just not what I was expecting. But do I have a favorite from this drop? Like from this drop? Absolutely. I love the teal oyster pearl. It looks really sick. But this is a really subjective thing, right? More colors, sure. Like it or not, is more options than before. Like the iPhone did back then. It's like the SR or something like that. I forgot. But same as mentioned before, it is Rolex. It is like the lack of effort plus people blindly worshiping this just because Rolex made it. Just, it doesn't sit right once again. But if we take a look at AP, right, Audemars Piguet, they have Royal Oak Offshore. Quite similar to what Rolex did to Oyster Perpetual, but there are more variations and more modifications to it every time AP put out a new Royal Oak. But to be honest, they all kind of look the same with slight color changes, or maybe a moon face. A moon face is like even a huge modification, right? The movement change is huge here. But people, when they see Audemars Piguet's Royal Oak and Royal Oak Offshores, they think it is boring. They think it is a one-hit wonder, and so-called, if it is not an AP Royal Oak, you're not wearing an AP, because no one would even know that it's an AP if it's not a Royal Oak. Something like that. It is, and this, when you compare AP to Rolex, it is the Rolex privilege that also ticks me off, because Rolex and AP kind of are doing the same thing when it comes to new releases, but AP is getting all the hate. AP is a big brand too. Hublot is a big brand too. Why are they, like, they're doing a similar thing, but why are they referred to as not creative and boring, while Rolex is literally just adding colors, and now everyone will die to get their hands on I don't know, like a pink Oyster Perpetual, right? It just doesn't make sense to me. I love Rolex because they were able to do things that others can't back then when they were rising up to the top, right? They made their way to the top and even, you know, became a symbol of wealth. That's why people love Rolex so much. If a brand can be the top at the game and become a symbol of something, they've won, right? But I just want Rolex to bring that back. I want Rolex to show us again why it's at the top and give us a reason again to convince us why, even though you're just pushing out new colors, but everyone would kill for it. I want that Rolex back. I want the OG Rolex, if you, however you want to call it. But this, once again, is just my 2 cents. This is once again Ryan from Gentleman Pursuits. Thank you for staying here for this tiny little podcast episode where I talk about the Rolex new releases. I hope you're doing fine. I hope you had fun. I hope this sparked a little something in you, like maybe a little conversation with yourself. Agree or disagree, let me know. Like, I'm not 100% correct, it's just my opinion, right? So thank you guys for listening and watching. Make sure to go subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow Gentleman Pursuits on IG, Twitter, Spotify, all platforms to stay updated. And once again, this is Ryan from Gentleman Pursuits, and I'll see you in the next video.